Adam has been employed at a fishing cooperative for numerous years, fortunate to have been recommended by a friend. During that period, the atmosphere at work was consistently tense. Adam supported a sizable family, including his wife, mother-in-law, and 5 children. Despite his efforts to generate income through various temporary positions, the financial strain persisted, especially with the additional expenses of clothing for his children's schooling. Suddenly, an acquaintance presented Adam with an opportunity to join the fishing artel. There, the men went to the lake for several days. It was hard, but it resulted in a catch and stable big salary. Adam worked more than others, replaced others, and went beyond the norm. "It's like you're made of iron," the captain told him. Since then, many years have passed. His friend no longer worked in that place, and by that time, Adam had become the captain of his own boat. It happened that he kind of tricked his friend. A long time ago, when they were recruiting the team for the new season, the old captain took Adam, but not his friend. He said that Adam was the one who worked for 10 people, while his friend liked to take time off, relax, and take sick leave. His friend was offended by Adam, and because of unemployment, he had to leave. When Adam became captain, he wanted to bring his friend back, even though he knew that he didn't work well, but he felt the blame. Adam tried to find his ex-friend, but it didn't work out. Even his parents didn't know exactly where he had gone. Years passed, the children matured, grew up, and moved away. Adam began to notice some coldness from his wife. Well, what to do? They're not getting any younger, and he is also constantly at work. Once upon a time, on one of the voyages, something hit the side of the boat. Is it really a log? God forbid there is a hole, Adam thought. He jumped up and ran to inspect the ship. A coffin was nailed to the boat. This is the find. Lord, where did it come from? Right in the middle of the lake. True, there was a nearby island, but it was completely uninhabited. There was not a bush on the island, not a blade of grass, only stones. Even birds did not nest there. Adam raised the team, and the men brought the coffin on board. Here you need to understand some nuances. Our area is borderline. The lake, though not a sea, is on the opposite shore of a different state. This means, according to all laws, maritime law extends to our waters. Firstly, the coffin was found in international waters, and secondly, the captain has all legal rights on the ship. It's like he is the president. "Let's open it," Adam commanded. They opened the coffin and were horrified. The fishermen saw something there that they never expected to see. There were children in the coffin, a boy and a girl, 10 years old. But the strangest thing was that the children looked as if they had lain in the coffin yesterday. Adam looked at the children and saw that they were sleeping. They were very weak. Most likely, the children were not sleeping, but already prepared for the worst. They were moved to the captain's cabin and began to warm up and be given fluids. It was clear that the children were in a state of shock. They had to be taken home. The children were transferred to the hospital. The whole team returned home ahead of time. An ambulance was called for the children, and they were taken to the hospital. Adam had a cooling relationship with his wife, but he never thought that his wife could betray him. However, upon entering the house, he realized that his wife was not alone. And who do you think turned out to be the hero lover? Right? The same friend who harbored a grudge against Adam. As it turned out, he had long been, since Adam became a captain, courting his wife. That's why Adam couldn't find him. He forbade his parents from saying that he lived in the next town. Well, Adam decided. His wife made her choice. He didn't start making a fuss or fighting. He calmly collected his things, leaving the lovers alone. He went to the same town nearby, to a hotel. The next morning, Adam woke up broken, but after thinking a little, he came to his senses. After all, he is the captain, and he has iron willpower. He was much more interested in the fate of the children they found in such strange circumstances than in the fate of his unfaithful wife. Adam went to the hospital. The children had just been brought there. They were already fine, and Adam was very interested in what the children would tell him. Their names were Ruslan and Lyudmila. They were the same age and lived with their parents in a neighboring village from Adam's. They lived in poverty, almost destitution, and the main desire of their parents was to get rich. All they talked about was money. It's possible God heard their prayers, or maybe not God, and someone else. In general, be that as it may, one day they received an inheritance from some distant and wealthy relative. Since then, only discord and swearing settled in their home. The parents could not agree on how to divide the inheritance. Maybe they weren't good people to begin with, but perhaps long years of poverty turned them into greedy monsters. The parents, having forgotten about their children and their direct responsibilities, began to argue about who owned what. The mother was worried that the father would spend it all on drinking. She didn't even realize that he wasn't healthy enough to drink so much money. And the father, of course, wanted to get money so that his wife wouldn't let him down, all for clothes. So they argued until finally Ruslan said they should stop swearing, as they would still get the money later with Lyuda. And why did he just say that? The seed of doubt was sown in the heads of the parents. People blinded by wealth are no longer actually people. The parents decided that the children wanted to rob them and take away the inheritance. Then they acted very simply, in their opinion. They decided to get rid of competitors for the inheritance. The children were put in a boat and, not paying attention to tears, were taken to that uninhabited island. And what? No one would see, no one would find. And if they did find them, it would be too late. Besides, they could always say that the children had swum there themselves. Ruslan and Lyudmila spent several terrible days on an island without water or food. When their strength was leaving them, in a crevice between stones, they found an old coffin. It was empty. There was no time to think about where its owner had gone. The coffin was the only thing on the island that was wooden and could float on the water. They lay down in it, covered themselves with a lid, and surrendered to the will of fate. Soon their consciousness left them. Adam listened to the children and was simply horrified. He couldn't allow these children to be sent back to their greedy parents after the hospital. Adam did everything to get them convicted for their cruel treatment of the kids. As for the inheritance, it was resolved to split the funds evenly between the children and place it in a frozen account until they reached 18 years old. Avoiding legal intricacies possibly due to the children's discovery in international waters, this decision was made. Upon returning home, Adam found his wife absent, but he showed little concern about her whereabouts. His primary focus was on the future of Ruslan and Luda. Taking action, he applied to adopt them, and the children joyfully embraced their new home with the captain who rescued them. Adam conversed with his children, who welcomed the idea of gaining another brother and sister. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. Please share your feedback in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Consider subscribing to our channel and hitting the bell icon to stay updated on future releases. Thank you for your support.